just went full Groucho Marx on me.
Grouchour?
Groucho Marx.
Welcome to Gamerography.
Gamerography.
The podcast about Miyamoto. And the me's that were made along the way.
The me's and the you's that you touched.
That touched me and you.
The me's that touched me.
That touched we all.
The me's that touched me and the we you's that touched you. We touched you and we's touched
me. And
me.
you touched none of us.
Yeah. The Wii U touched about 17 million of us, which is
13 million.
13 million.
Yeah.
Wow, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, that's pretty embarrassing.
I've touched infinitely more people than that. Infinitely more me's than that.
Yeah. I mean, you get in that me parade. You're touching lots of me's. In that me plaza. That was a thing for the Wii U, right? Like the me plaza.
It must have been, yeah.
Where it was like you could just like get a bunch. I don't know if it was you got your friends me's or you just got a bunch of random me's that hung out on your Wii U. Listen, there's no way anyone could know this information. Certainly not for a research podcast.
No. We tried to get a Wii U, but there are none left.
Yeah. Well, Nintendo destroyed the...
Yeah, they're all buried in the Arizona desert. Even deeper down than the ET game.
Yeah.
Is that the Arizona desert?
I think it's the Nevada desert. But I'm not sure.
Aren't those the same state?
Yeah.
Pretty sure they are.
Yeah. If you have complaints about this the slandering of your state, if you live in either of those states, you can tweet at us at GameographyPod.
At GameographyPod to let us know that, hey, our state is more than just a burial ground for unloved video games. Tweet us that because I'd love to tell you all the reasons you're wrong. At GameographyPod.
Please.
Let's get in a Twitter fight.
Yeah, with Miyamoto.
Yeah, we'll CC him on the whole thing. He'll have to chime in at some point. On it. That's what it is in tweets, right?
Yeah. We'll CC him in Excel of all the tweets, and he'll check it out.
We'll loop back around to that.
Yeah, because Miyamoto's not on Twitter, but he's in Excel. You know what I mean?
He lives in Excel.
Yeah.
No one's seen him in years because he is living full time in Excel now, and he's excelling at it. Devin.
Yes.
This is so sad.
Yes, Tim.
This is special.
Yeah. This is it.
Wow.
Truly, it's insane that we're here. I feel
it really is.
I feel like there was a question we wouldn't make it this far. At a certain point.
If you had told us at the beginning of this, like, yeah, you're gonna do what, like
27 maybe,
yeah,
episodes
in the high 20s of episodes, playing all these goddamn games
in like a few months.
Truly, yeah. Like we started this like 6 months ago, right?
Less than that, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And
wow. Isn't it kind of sad that we've boiled down one of the most significant artists in like modern history, his whole life's work, into a couple of months of podcasts?
That's how he would have wanted it, I'm going to say. Well, listen. It's not just us that have played these games. He's
touch the lives of me, touch the lives of you, touch the lives of we. Like we were saying earlier.
Yeah. As we've already covered.
He touches people.
He touches people and he sucks their blood. As we've covered. And if you need to catch up on your history, check out the last episode.
Check out the last episode to hear all about how Miyamoto doesn't come out in the daylight, doesn't sleep in a bed, doesn't eat food. Friend of Nicolas Cage, if you know what I mean. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Do I have to do the whole thing?
Are you saying that Nick Cage is Miyamoto's sire? Because
oh my god, well, that movie happens in the 80s, right?
Yeah, or 90s. But they became active around the same time, I'm gonna say.
Wow, is that canon? I think that is actually true.
Because Nick Cage was in movies when he was like a teen, basically, in like the 80s, I think. So, yeah.
Wow, you heard it here first. This is the first big conclusion of this season is that Miyamoto's a vampire and the sire is Nicolas
Cage. This is the first real thing we've discovered.
Yeah, that's what all of this time has been building up to, is this realization.
And honestly, listen, I know we said we want Miyamoto to sire us, but if Nick Cage wants to sire us...
Honestly, I'd love to be like,
can't say no to that.
We'd be on the same level as Miyamoto.
Yeah. Huh. I bet it was a situation, though, where, like, you know, he sired Miyamoto, and then they immediately became, like, enemies. They seem like they have very different energies.
Yeah, that's true. That is really true. I bet you're right.
Yeah.
Like, I bet that they hung out one night, they did a bunch of coke, and he turned him into a vampire. And then after that, it was like, we are completely opposed to each other. We are opposites of one another.
Yeah.
We are natural born enemies.
Yeah.
We will face off.
A lot of people don't know Bowser is actually based on Nick Cage.
What if Nick Cage plays Bowser in the 3D movie?
Oh my God. That would be incredible.
That would confirm everything we've been saying this whole time. Finally, the world would see how right we are about this all.
I mean, I would just love to hear like Nick Cage's like voice and like take on Bowser. Honestly,
yeah, as I'm hearing it in my head, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Mario.
Come in here with your stupid fucking mushrooms. Little Toad.
Filthy.
Yeah.
Potty mouth Bowser.
They didn't write lines, and they were just like, Nick, just ad-lib it.
Bowser,
just go for it.
Look at him. Look at the way he's speaking. You just say whatever comes to your head. You stupid fucking mushrooms.
Yeah, Nick Cage thinks Mario is a mushroom. He has no idea what Mario is. And Miyamoto's like, he's my sire. I have to let him do what he wants. I have no power against him.
I can't say no. What am I going to do? Suck his blood?
Does Miyamoto like drop into like a stereotypical Dracula accent when he says suck your blood?
What am I going to do? Suck his blood? Yes, he does.
Yeah, good to know. But Tim.
But Devin.
We're here to talk about Miyamoto, what he stands for, who he is as a man.
As a man, as a demon, and as a video game.
As an icon.
Okay, yeah, sure, as an icon. Welcome to Game Over, the podcast about icons and the vampires that sired them.
Super Nintendo world from Universal Studios. That Miyamoto, one of his other projects, non-game projects, has been like overseeing that.
Yeah,
and,
which is so funny.
Yeah, and I want to say in January, a video came out of like him introducing and like showing it off.
It's a great
highly
video.
Recommended.
Highly recommend that video.
Yeah, I was like, oh, we should play some of that, but then I like went back and watched it. I was like, oh, it's all in Japanese.
Oh wow, yeah.
Like it's subtitled, but like there's no like English, so it'd be like no point in playing.
And
it.
the whole point is also the visuals and just seeing Miyamoto.
Yeah. Well, the whole point of it is Miyamoto coming out of a pipe and saying, "It's me, Miyamoto, Mario's father." That's on like the video peaks in the first 5 seconds. Not that it, like, there's good stuff later on as well.
I completely forgot that he says that.
There's also the part later on where like people in like Mario and Luigi like costumes show up, and he's like, "Oh, my sons," or something like that. And, like puts his arms around them.
Okay, didn't we establish earlier that he is Bowser Jr.'s mother?
Yes.
Devin,
he's banging. He's having lots of kids.
This is coming full circle. Do you remember?
So Bowser Jr.
Do you remember in the beginning we kept on saying that Miyamoto was banging?
I can't say I remember that, but
long-time listeners will know.
That sounds like us. So I do believe it.
Miyamoto is banging.
He's banging. And that means Bowser Jr. and Mario
precisely what I was gonna say.
are at least half brothers.
They're blood relatives. That's why Bowser Jr. pulls off the evil Mario so well. That's why he convinces an entire island that he's Mario.
He's got that Miyamoto blood. Wait a minute. Does this mean Mario and Luigi are vampires? They do have very white, pasty skin, I'll say.
Never seen those guys eat food.
And they never age. So really?
Devin.
It honestly makes a lot of sense.
Devin, this is making way too much sense. I don't think we can air this.
Literally, Nintendo's going to take this down.
They're going to destroy us.
Literally, if you're listening to this, save a copy. Because you're not going to be able to download this again.
Get the truth out while you can.
We will be broadcasting on a
pirate radio station. Get your Teleview. We are communicating directly to your televisions.
Yes. Using Nintendo's technology against them. But the Super Nintendo World did open this year.
It did.
And then closed because of COVID again. And
oh, really?
It's actually opening again in 2 days.
So when are we going?
We will go at some point.
When are we going, Devin?
As I think I said before, maybe off pod, when we go, that will be the last episode of the podcast. we will go and commit suicide.
We're gonna jump off the tallest pipe.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna get sucked down into a pipe and no one will ever hear from us again.
Yeah.
I think that's how I'd like to go.
But Miyamoto will be down there
waiting for us.
When we're gone, you'll know that we're with Miyamoto.
Whenever this podcast just stops getting updated, know that that's what happened to us.
Yeah.
Don't believe the lies. If we're not gogging anymore, Miyamoto took us down. I was like trying to figure out like is it good? Like, do people like it? And it's like very hard to. Like I watched a video from IGN Japan of them like talking about it, but like obviously they're like super into it and just like talking about how great it is. I mean, yeah, it's like any kind of place like this can only do one thing, which is like be a cool place you go to and you look at Mario stuff. So it's I'm sure it succeeds at that. In that sense, I think it definitely does. And then like I guess like the main kind of attraction or like the big like thing is like the Mario Kart thing. Where I don't know about that. I guess it's like you're like driving a little go-kart and you have AR like goggles on. So it puts characters like flying around you and stuff. Are you actually driving the go-kart or is it like yeah, you are. It's like actually you're seeing the real world, but then also superimposed over that like game characters. Whoa. And like but it sounded to me like, because they were describing it sounded to me like it's not like a race necessarily. It's like you're like driving around this like course kind of, and like and like in your like on your goggles there'll be like a thing you have to like go. Maybe it's like coins or something. Yeah, it's like you have to like go drive over to that. Wow. And I think there's like a bunch of people like doing it. And Tim seats 2 people. Devin! Gonna do a live podcast while driving that. I'll be driving and you're in the back like telling us the making of the game. Yeah, we'll have these like microphone stands just carrying with us. We'll have gamer headphones with the little headset. Oh my god. Like pilots. Yeah. And you'll be like a pilot, like we're taking off. Ignition. That sounds so fun, actually. We truly need to go do that. Let's go to Japan. Yeah. But it's also interesting that like with just everything I feel like that Nintendo does, even if like I'm sure he had stuff to do with it. Yeah. But it's all like he truly is just like I feel like the spokesperson of Japan of Nintendo. Of Japan, yeah. But also Japan probably. He's gonna like show up in the Olympics somehow. I mean, like Mario's gonna make an appearance, I'm sure. So, you think Sonic's gonna be there?
All right, Tim. We have a final. I'm not. It's going to be a different format, so I'm not going to do the sound effects. But one final installment of Devin's Dungeon, the Famicom Feud, based off of the Family Feud, obviously, which I don't think I've ever seen. So
That's great.
we'll see how this
I'm
goes.
sure you're going to capture the format perfectly.
I have the top 5 Miyamoto games. So games that we talked about that he either directed or produced.
Okay.
As rated on Metacritic by users. So not by like critics. And I will give you this hint. It doesn't go back like beyond like before the N64. So all the games will be N64 or after.
Oh, that's really surprising. Okay.
Now, with that being said, I feel like there isn't actually that many games. So
Yeah.
I was going to say you should like try and like so say the game and then say like what like position you think it is.
Okay.
So like what do you think number 1 is?
Yeah. Okay, number 1, Ocarina of Time.
Okay. Should I tell you or should I should I wait until you've said all 5?
Tell me don't tell me what number it actually is, but tell me, unless I'm right. But tell me.
Incorrect.
Okay, is it on there, Ocarina of Time?
Well, yes, it is.
It's one of the 5?
Yeah.
Okay,
it
but
is,
it's not number 1.
No.
Okay. Mario 64. Is that on there?
Is which place?
Is it on there?
It's on there.
Okay. Okay, and I'm going to guess it's
Okay, so
number 1.
you are correct.
Wow. Wahoo!
With
Okay.
a 9.2 on from users.
Okay. Okay, then I'm going to guess Ocarina's 2 then.
You are correct.
Oh,
the
okay.
9.1.
Wow.
But more user reviews, so it honestly
Yeah.
you could interpret that a different way.
Interpret the data how you will.
I'm the judge here.
Okay.
Okay, but number 3. This is where it starts getting tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, because that's I've just gotten the 2 easiest ones.
Yeah.
out. Galaxy.
You are correct.
Woo-hoo-hoo! Okay. Okay.
Wow.
All
right.
This is my redemption after the last Devin's Dungeon where I died. Okay.
And number 4? What's your gut telling you?
Oh, wait, no, so it couldn't be Breath of the Wild because he didn't do anything.
No. There are no Wii or Switch. Wow. I will say. In this, I mean,
Okay.
I did not include those. I guess, yes, if I would have included Star Fox Zero, it would be number 1. Okay.
We all know that, okay? More like number 0. Star Fox Zero.
All right, what you thinking?
Devin, this is so hard. What even games did we talk about? Devin? Is Majora's Mask on there?
It is on the list.
Oh, it is. Okay. Top 5?
It is on the list.
Oh, God. I'm going to guess that's 5.
You are not correct.
So it's 4?
It is number 4.
Wow. Should have just guessed that. Okay.
All right. So now just guess what do you think the last one is.
Devin.
So that's all of the Nintendo 64. Well, I guess besides Star Fox 64.
So it's got to be a GameCube game or a Wii game.
It could be a GameCube game. It could be a Wii game.
No, it has to be one of those 2.
Yeah. Yes, because we all know it's not Star Fox 64.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that leaves us with Sunshine, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword. Well, no, we didn't cover Skyward Sword.
Yeah, we didn't cover Skyward Sword.
So it's one of those 2 then. Am I missing any that it could be?
You're missing some. Pikmin, Wind Waker.
Oh, wow.
Nintendogs.
Nintendogs for 500. No, okay. Wind Waker.
You are correct.
Oh, okay. That you pretty much gave that to me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I mean, I was like,
wow.
this is like very. I mean, like the order is the only way that
Mhm.
it's like tricky, but like,
Not that tricky for me, apparently.
I mean, yeah, you got yeah,
Got some of them right.
you got Galaxy spot on.
No, I
And-
got 2 wrong.
Well, you said Ocarina of Time for 1.
Yeah, that's the first one I got wrong.
Yeah.
Second one I got wrong was
Majora's Mask. Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah,
Got 3 out of
you
2.
have
3 I got 5 out of 5 and 3 out of 2.
Tim. You have completed this dungeon, and you are now a man.
Say it with me, Devin.
You are no longer young Tim.
1, 2, 3. Da 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 da.
Oh, I was in the
What is that?
like
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
like the like you're like I don't know, like you solve a little puzzle.
Yeah, you did the little one, I did the big one.
Yeah.
For me, becoming adult Tim from young Tim, that's a big one. That's not
Yeah.
a little one, but to you, that's a little one.
Yeah. Dude, you have a long ways to go, Tim. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. But that also just gives you an idea of how like the broader world, I guess, would rank Miyamoto's works.
Yeah, that really is fascinating.
Not including the earlier stuff, obviously.
I'm surprised that Mario 64 is above Ocarina. I would
am
have
too.
definitely guessed.
Yeah, I am too.
I feel like that's
Ocarina
just,
of Time has way more ratings, I will say.
yeah, that
Ocarina of Time has like 5 times as many as
Wow.
Mario 64, which is crazy. But
yeah, I actually wonder if that's because like it feels like now that I'm really thinking about this, Mario 64 feels like almost a game that most people have played, but most people don't care about. And
Yeah,
so it's
I do
like
kinda
the
know what you
only
mean, yeah.
the only people
It's like
going into rate it
taken
are the
for
ones who
exa-
love it.
yeah,
and
it's
are
like
gonna
taken
give it a
for
5.
granted
Yeah,
in a way. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And especially I think like obviously it's amazing and it's still like one of the like best like 3D platformers, but I think for like people who probably grew up later,
yeah.
like because like every other 3D platformer basically just like took from Mario 64 like
Yeah.
that formula.
Yeah,
That it's like if you're going back, it's like it's not as significant.
yeah.
I'm sure.
And it also, I mean, it was like Nintendo's first 3D game. I always want to say the first 3D game. I know that's not true, but a part
Yeah.
of me almost feels like that is true in a certain way. But it's like,
it really is one of the first like in the modern sense.
yeah, it feels like in the way that like there were tablets, but then Apple made the iPad, and that started tablets as we know them. It feels like that's what this is.
Were there even tablets before they had bad? Like
I think that it was like there had been a few that
Yeah.
like no one bought.
I'm sure there honestly were in like weird like business contexts, you know?
yeah,
Like,
that's probably
not
it,
necessarily like everyone had one.
Yeah, and like in the same way how like there were 3D games, but they was only in like little business contexts, and like no
Yeah.
one really had them until Apple invented Mario 64.
Yeah, I mean there's 3D games on a little something called the personal computer.
Well, someone should make a podcast about that.
Someone should.
Someone should make a season about that on their podcast about games and gameographies.
Someone should.
And someone has to.
Getting back to Miyamoto and his story. We did talk about the Wii and the Switch, but something else that happened during that time is before the Switch came out, the then president of Nintendo, Iwata, died.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think actually I don't know if I think it was like cancer, but I'm not sure. But so Miyamoto was appointed along with Genyo Takeda as like presidents basically
Wow.
of Nintendo, and then they were that for a year, and then the current president
Who is the current president?
Tatsumi Kimishima is the current
Wow.
president.
That's actually surprising. I guess I had never actually considered who's the president of Nintendo. It's weird to think of someone being above Miyamoto. Like that's so odd.
Yeah.
Like,
I
that's
mean, I think Miyamoto gets what he wants, but
Yeah.
and now he has the title of creative fellow at Nintendo.
Creative fellow. He's a creative fellow. He's just a guy. He's a creative guy. That's his job.
Yeah. And that is what he does now.
Yeah.
He creates.
He's a fellow.
But he did talk about it specifically as like he wants to like not oversee like big budget, like big team projects anymore. He wants to like work on like little things.
Like an amusement park.
Yeah,
just a little
like
stuff.
I feel like that's not exactly working out for him, but we'll see. Maybe he has something he's working on.
Yeah, he has to make an app, and then he's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now you have to make an amusement park.
Yeah.
Is that big budget enough for you, bud?
And so in 2010, going back in time a little bit, he had an interview with Shigesato Itoi, who our listeners and you, Tim, may know as the creator of Earthbound. And he's also like, it's really what he's like, obviously like around the world or like in the US at least, that's what he's known for.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like basically like a celebrity in Japan. Like
really?
He's like a writer.
What?
And like it says he's an actor on like Wikipedia. He like owns like a magazine basically, and like he's the editor of it and stuff.
What?
And basically how Earthbound and the other like games in the Mother series happened was that he just like was like, I want to make a game, and so he like went to Nintendo and like and Miyamoto like did help him on those. So they're friends.
Oh my god.
And so
I mean that makes of course a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I can't believe for listeners that aren't me and Devin, you might not know that Devin and I have been very big fans of the Mother series.
Yeah.
For quite a while.
I mean Earthbound at least.
Yeah, Earthbound.
We
But I mean just
ones.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But just in general, I'm surprised that did you know this? That he had a magazine and was an actor?
Not until like I read this interview.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. I do want to play Mother 3 at some point.
Oh,
though.
for sure, yeah.
Because like it's like I feel like people like people like less people have played it than Earthbound, even though like Earthbound's like such like a cult like indie, not indie, but like it's such like a cult like classic. But it's like the people who like have played it like are like just like love it even more. I feel like
I definitely I get the impression from people's reactions and just kind of logically I could see it being like the perfect kind of like Earthbound improvement.
Yeah. Also, I don't know. Did you know this that they were making an Earthbound for Nintendo 64 at some point?
Oh yeah.
There's like
I've seen the video. Or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen just like graphics. Yeah,
that's probably all I've seen.
It's
actually.
so weird. It seems like it was like pretty like far along.
Yeah, like they had like kind of put it together to physically work.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of a shame. I think that would have been awesome.
Do you know like why they didn't? I feel like
I really don't. Was it Mother 3 supposed to be on 64? Or was it they were making another Mother?
I think probably what it was turned into Mother 3, but I don't know.
What did Mother 3 come out on?
Game Boy Advance.
Oh, see, I always think it's on
Japan.
Super Nintendo. Yeah, I know. Yeah, obviously, it was only in Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes sense, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it was just like a budgetary thing where they probably... I could see them realizing like, oh, this is going to take way more money to fully make, and we don't see it making that much money in the end.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So sad. How have they not released that in America in some way? Like, it would be so simple.
Mother 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like you have to play like a fan translation.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous.
I know.
Hopefully sometime. I feel like Nintendo is starting to do these things that everyone has always known that they should do.
I guess. It seems
here and there.
It almost seems like they're like worse about it than they used to be. Because like on the Wii, like you could literally like buy like any like old Nintendo game basically.
Yeah, that
but
is
now
true,
it's like you have, you know, like the selection that they give you, and that there's no other options.
Yeah. And see, it's like I would totally get it if they make this subscription service, because that's just like a business model of the 2020s.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, cool. I'll pay for that. I don't care.
Yeah,
but just
like if
give us games.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be amazing if they put like Game Boy Advance games and Game Boy games and stuff on there. And Nintendo 64 games.
Oh my god, if they put 64
games,
and GameCube games, I'd pay like $50 a month. Like, I don't care.
Tim, don't say this out loud.
But just like, come on, what are they doing?
Yeah. But so in this interview, there's a lot of it. It's a really long interview, and they talk about a lot of interesting things. But one of the things that Miyamoto talks about is that he he like thinks about as ideas as coming with like as a set with problems that like, so like in a way, like if you like, you can't have an idea if you don't like know what the problem is in a way where it's like an idea is something that solves a problem to Miyamoto.
Okay.
Where it's like you need a problem that you're thinking about to be able to like have like a good idea.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, and you need to like the flip side of that is like you need to be aware of like the problems with things.
Yeah.
To be able to have a good idea. And so he talked about how Gunpei Yokoi, who we talked about way at the beginning of the like the first episodes basically of the podcast, was like his like mentor basically at Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
He's like the creator of the Game Boy and all this other stuff. He said that like he said to Miyamoto, "You're pretty negative," and Miyamoto said that shocked him. And then he said, like he realized that like that it is true that like at least like the way he views like problems and stuff is that he says he specifically like when he's working on something he makes a list of everything that like he can't do that like they like that won't work in a project and like does that first and then like tries to work around that basically. So he said like when he was working on like the original Super Mario's and stuff, he like first like had to figure out like what they couldn't do on a Nintendo because of like the limitations of the hardware and stuff. Yeah.
We can't make him go backwards.
Exactly.
Etc. And other problems.
Yeah. We can have like 20 colors.
We have 3 colors.
Yeah.
Mario, Goomba, and Koopa.
Well, and I feel like that's like, and like going back to something we talked about with Mario, like the way like Mario was designed and stuff, where it's like he got a mustache because like you couldn't draw his mouth with that few pixels and stuff like that. That's like I feel like that's just like interesting to just like get that from. That's just how Miyamoto sees the world.
Like, well, he sees the world with mustaches.
Yeah,
that is but that actually, I mean. You know, there's definitely in creativity and in different like fields of art, you have people who talk about getting like kind of inspired out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and I'm sure that we've both experienced that. But it's like I actually feel like a lot of people who are more successful early, just a lot of the artists out there will put themselves in situations where they have to do this. They have to solve problems where it's like you sit down and maybe the problem is like I need to think of something.
Well, and I think that's where a lot of like really like great art comes from is like you could just like go with the flow, but I think what he's talking about is like you want to do something new and like that is like the problem, you know what I mean? Where it's like how do I like do a new thing that isn't just like rehashing everything that's came before. Where it's like I feel like that totally applies to like writing or film or whatever, where it's like what is how is my like idea, like why does it have any worth compared to anyone else's? Like it needs to have like something that it's like solving essentially.
And I mean I was watching a video of John Darnielle yesterday. Have you seen the videos he's been uploading recently of him talking?
No.
This week there was a few getting ready for
are they like
for the dark?
What are they like Instagram videos or are they YouTube?
On YouTube. Okay, he's a vlogger now, just like David Lynch.
Did he tell you what the weather is though?
Golden skies. Is that what he says? But he was talking about how like you've heard him talk about this in the podcast where about like how writing is just labor and it shouldn't be thought of as anything higher than that.
Yeah, and
I feel like that's almost what you see with Miyamoto.
Yeah,
where it's like, I mean, it's like Mario. Maybe isn't like a Dostoevsky novel. You know, it's like there's certain like levels of artistic like expression that you maybe don't see in his works. But
it's a very different thing.
Yeah, and that's probably mostly due to the form and the fact that Miyamoto has really always conceived of himself, I think, as a businessman and a designer. You know,
and like a toy maker,
exactly.
Like, in a way,
where it's not as much like an artist or a artist. But it's like you see it's like his works are so artistically significant and truly beautiful so often. And I think
they're significant in like in the sense of like what they bring to like video games. Yeah. Not in the sense of like traditionally.
I mean, well, but also I think, it's like it's not meeting certain artistic goals that you might go into in a different medium. Like a painting is going to express certain things in a certain way that a video
that's
game
what
can't.
I mean. Yeah,
But it's like just the ideas and the aesthetic and the feeling of like every one of his works almost is so significant that it's like can only be described as like great art, I think.
Well, it's like, to me, it's like the aesthetics, the major aesthetic is like how it feels to play his games, as opposed to like other games, especially of like the time of when you're like talking about his like older games where he was like more in charge.
And then also, of course, he essentially defined a genre or a form, like a
just
whole
like
medium.
I feel like he really defined that like level of quality and level of like sophistication for just Nintendo as a company.
And I think that what I was actually trying to say at the beginning is like it's like John Darnielle. He is someone who's like he doesn't, I think, conceive of himself in any kind of pretentious or free floaty way. It's like he is just a guy who sits down to work. And I think that there's something so respectable and like honorable with that as an artist. To just like take your ego out of it or take any like lofty ideas of what you're doing out of it. It's like you sit down and you work.
Exactly.
It's labor.
Exactly.
It makes something beautiful.
I definitely think that's true. Another thing that he says about ideas is that like he says that like there aren't like bad ideas. Like there are just ideas that you can't like use. So like sometimes like there's something that stops that idea from like making sense at the time or working out or whatever. So he says what he does, or he says, I tell people to store up ideas in a drawer. I recently suggest putting ideas that were no good into a drawer with the reason that they were no good affixed to them, like writing the reason on a label. If you have a bunch of ideas like that in store, the time will come when in some way you can take off that label. Like, oh, things are different now. And he specifically talks about like with Mies.
Yeah.
Like he had been trying to do that for like 10 years. And finally it was like, oh, we can actually do this now. Which is just so great.
So funny.
Yeah.
And to bring it back to another artist, that reminds me of Rivers Cuomo's like spreadsheets and spreadsheets of lyric ideas. And it's like...
And doesn't he also do doesn't he do the same thing with like the actual music?
Oh yeah, I think he does. Yeah,
where he'll like put like chords or something. And then like later like just like try and put different ones together and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great.
Yeah, that's great. In 2019, he was named a person of cultural merit by the Japanese government, and he's the first and only game designer to have received that.
That's so great. That makes me genuinely so happy. That makes me almost like proud for Miyamoto. Like that's like, good job, Japan.
Yeah,
good job.
And then in another interview, he talked about. They asked him about. So on the N64, there's the game GoldenEye, the classic game.
Oh, of course.
And the interviewer asked him about a rumor, I guess, that he had expressed sadness at the number of people that Bond shoots and suggested that they add a scene in the end credits where like Bond visits his victims in their hospital beds. He doesn't say if that's true or not. Like that's so insane though.
That's so Miyamoto. That's so cute. Just like
but he does say he's like, I think it's like natural that like that kind of like action is like enjoyable as a game essentially. But he does say that like as human beings, we have many ways to experience fun. Ideally, game designers will explore those ways. I don't think it's necessarily bad that there are studios that really hone in on that simple mechanic, but it's not ideal to have everybody doing it just because that kind of game sells well. It'd be great if developers found new ways to elicit joy in their players. Beyond that, I also resist the idea that it's okay to simply kill all monsters. Even monsters have a motive and a reason for why they are the way they are. This is something I've thought about a lot. So you have a scene in which a battleship sinks. When you look at it from the outside, it might be a symbol of victory in battle, but a filmmaker or writer might shift perspective to the people on the ship to enable the viewer to see close up the human impact of the action. It would be great if video game makers took more steps to shift the perspective instead of always viewing a scene from the most obvious angle.
Wow. Just like how in Mario, when you see it from Bowser's perspective.
Well, I was going to say that it kind of goes back to Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause that was like the idea back for that. Like, Donkey Kong's the villain.
That's a really good point.
And then the next game, Mario's the villain.
Yeah. Okay, literally, yeah, actually,
Yeah.
the joke I just made is fully false. He literally did that.
Yeah.
And one of his first things he ever made.
Yeah. But yeah, that's just great. I just love that he's like, yeah, just like, you, like, stop making every game just like shooting people.
Yeah. And I love that he's not going into it with like anger or like dismissing it, where it's like, yeah, that's fun to shoot people.
Yeah.
But it's
we talked about how he likes Grand Theft Auto.
Exactly. That's exactly the same thing. It's so great that he has the open mind to appreciate that those games do actually have merit and value.
Yeah.
But that is the perfect way of putting it, where it's like, yeah, but not every game needs to be a gun game.
Yeah.
Like,
and that interview is from like literally like last year or something, like 2019 maybe.
Wow.
So I feel like that problem in a way has only gotten worse.
Yeah, it definitely has. Yeah, I think it's like, I mean, essentially every popular game is like shooting, racing, or like medieval action, you know. Swords.
Hot medieval action, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like, really, outside of Nintendo, what like game makers are like, I guess like indie games and stuff, but
yeah,
that's kind
there was like, yeah, I mean, like, platforming as a genre is definitely not as big as it used to be.
Yeah,
I really think like the N64 was like the peak.
Oh yeah,
with like Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie and Donkey Kong 64 and stuff.
I mean, honestly, just platforming has. It's funny that it almost doesn't deserve to be like acknowledged as a genre. I feel like, where it's like, it's just Nintendo, like they make platforming games, and then people make Nintendo inspired platforming games. Yeah, and usually it's indie people, unless you're in the 64 era when like Xbox made their own kind of attempt at that, and Sonic and stuff. But
yeah, can you consider Sonic a platformer?
I mean, literally, there are platforms. It's more of a gotta go faster.
There was a new Crash Bandicoot, I know, like for PlayStation 5, I think. So there's still like some stuff out there.
Actually, that's true. You're right.
But yeah, it's not like culturally significant in the way you.
Yeah, it's just, and it's like
nobody really like talks about these games.
It's like those games never really exist outside of in reference to Nintendo almost, where it's like what'd you say? Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
Banjo-Kazooie, Bandicoot, Banjo Connection. Birdo Connection? Is that the Birdo Connection for the last 7 episodes?
For the last like 12, yeah.
You know, it's actually really sad because as soon as we stopped doing it, I started the process of making an actual jingle. Because I had this audio clip of you going, Birdo Connection. And I was going to, and you say it in the pod, and then I was going to put it in the next one. But there was literally just never a next one.
Oh, man. All right.
So sad.
That is sad.
But
well, listen. Next season we'll have Birdo Connections. Every episode.
We will. We'll think of it. Even if Birdo isn't actually connected in any way, we'll find a way.
As opposed to all of these games.
But what was I saying? Oh, but Crash Bandicoot, I think, was made in that era when people were competing directly with Mario, and so it's like
Crash Bandicoot actually Miyamoto, like the original Miyamoto, like said is trash basically. He said like because it came out before Mario 64, and he was like, like it's not really 3D platforming. He's like they didn't because it's like, you know, like it's like 3D like models and stuff, but it's still like you can't control the camera. You're just like going.
Oh, interesting.
I've never played the original. I think I played like a Game Boy Advanced.
Oh, really?
One maybe. I know I've played a Crash Bandicoot game, but it's like there's levels where you're like running towards the screen.
Yeah.
And then there's like levels I think where you're like running to the side and stuff. So he was like, yeah, it's not real 3D. Like Sony's trash. That's basically what he was saying.
Wow. And the fact that he is open-minded about Grand Theft Auto and GoldenEye, it's like he means it. He's not being like territorial over his genre.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I think I did play the original one. I'm trying to think if
Really?
I feel like it's not a simple chronology though, where I had some game that was like none of it was the actual platforming. That's one that I played a ton, and then
Did you play like Crash Bandicoot Racing or something?
No, it was like something where it was like there was different characters that had different game modes or something. Maybe I'm just misremembering that it was 2 or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I have no idea. I never played any of them. I think besides the Game Boy Advance one, maybe.
I think you're not missing out on much.
Tim just teared up. he actually like created Crash Bandicoot.
Okay guys, I'm actually the maker of Crash. It's actually
You're not missing much.
Really
bad. Tim, any final thoughts on Miyamoto before we say bon voyage?
Miyamoto.
I will say we will come back and do another episode if he releases something new. I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
If Miyamoto just drops a new, I mean, honestly,
surprise drop new Mario game.
there's probably gonna be like announcements.
Oh yeah,
because like E3 is in June.
Oh, also,
So by the time this episode comes out,
yeah,
you will know if Miyamoto has announced anything.
Just the other day, I saw like of course, I see these articles constantly,
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
but there was something where like Amazon listed the Switch Pro
in like China,
yeah, and so it's something. I got the vibe that it seemed more reliable than the last 20,000 articles that have just been like, yeah, probably,
yeah.
And with that, I imagine will come lots of significant stuff. So. Yeah. I don't know. Miyamoto, yeah, one of the most important artists of the last 100 years in any medium or genre.
Yeah.
I absolutely believe that.
Yeah.
He's a sadistic fuck, and he's a mean, horrible person, but he's also the sweetest, funniest, silliest person.
Yeah.
And he entertains in every aspect of his work, and we should all learn from him. I have nothing but respect for Shigeru Miyamoto.
I have nothing to add, really. I feel like all I have to add really is like he's like everyone like understands that Miyamoto is the master.
Yeah,
like
it's pretty undisputed.
Like no one is like somebody else and then like comma like the greatest of all time. Like,
yeah, yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, like everyone knows, and it's just like. I feel like there's not many like artistic like creator people that I'll be like truly sad when they're gone, you know, but it's like the whole world is going to mourn.
Truly, yeah.
When Miyamoto's gone.
When Miyamoto dies, it'll be like when Paul McCartney dies. Like it will it will be world shattering.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeez, I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Paul McCartney's gonna die too. Sorry. Bad news, Devin.
Paul McCartney's not a vampire?
Yeah, I don't know. Wait, what are you talking about when he's gone? When someone stakes him, you mean?
Yeah.
A couple 100 years from now?
When Buffy gets him.
Yeah. And she will, but he has time.
Buffy Japan?
Buffy Japan?
It'd be a good season. They bring it back.
Oh, wow. Wow. That would be great.
Or just like all new characters in Japan.
No, it's Sarah Michelle Gellar playing Buffy, and she goes to Japan,
and she does not know Japanese.
Yeah, of course,
and she never tries to learn.
Yeah, it's Buffy. Yeah, of course she wouldn't. And then it all culminates with revealing that Miyamoto is a vampire, and she's like, he's the big bad of the season.
But she's really conflicted because she does love Mario. That's like the big climax. That's
like when we learn about what everyone's been doing in the last 20 years. It's like Buffy became a gamer.
Does Buffy, like she does with every other significant vampire, get together with Miyamoto though?
Oh, absolutely.
Is Buffy Bowser Jr.'s mother? Listen.
If anyone wants to let us make this, because Joss Whedon's canceled, like just let us know. We will do it.
Yeah.
I honestly think that's what we were born to do, Devin.
Yeah, and we have confirmation that Miyamoto is in.
Oh yeah,
He'll play himself.
He's fine with playing himself as a vampire.
Well, I mean, he doesn't really have to act.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, this is back from that interview from 2010. This is how I'm going to end the season. He asked Miyamoto, like, so what are you going to be doing 25 years from now? Are you going to be still working when you're 85? And Miyamoto says, I wonder what I'll be working. I'll be working on something if I'm still alive then. And then he says, so you don't know what you'll be, but you'll be working. And he said, yeah, I'll be doing something. And then Itoi said, maybe you'll be making straw sandals or something. And Miyamoto said, no, something a little more provocative. Just, he's never going to stop.
He's never going to stop, and he should.
He's very like to David Lynch in that way, I feel.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, yeah, I fully expect David Lynch will never stop making at least YouTube videos. If nothing else.
Yeah. I mean, John Darnielle.
Yeah.
Rivers Cuomo. I feel like all these great artists, it's like a specific kind of artist, maybe. The person who just kind of never stops.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and it's like so clear with those kind of people that it's like it's truly not about like anything besides like being able to make it. You know what I mean? Like they have nothing left to prove. They don't need money. Like they don't need anything.
Yeah.
Like they've all like won all the accolades they could want, basically. Mm-hmm. Maybe not Rivers. He seems maybe a little more obsessed with that kind of thing.
He has something to prove still, but overall he's fine.
Yeah. But it's just truly like they just cannot stop from doing it.
I mean, I think that that's like honestly just a whole category, and I think
it's like Conan O'Brien can't stop.
Is that the name of his podcast or something?
That's the name of the like documentary.
Oh yeah. Yeah, just these people who just it's like a compulsion, and it's just what they do, and they do it.
Yeah,
and that's just how it should be.
That's what we're here for, baby. That's gamography. That's Miyamoto's gamography. We've done it.
We did it. We gogged. We gogged.
We gogged.
We tobogged.
We
Miyamogged. And we gogged.
We conquered. Conquered.
I'll cut that out.
Yeah, please. All right. Thanks for listening.
There'll be one more episode after this, a special
bonus episode.
I guess a bonus episode.
We'll be doing a little award show.
Oh yeah.
For Miyamoto and his works. But until then, bye bye.